Hello and welcome to the Outside the Cockpit pre-race show for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, powered by the Intermission Sports. I'm joined by Alex and TJ. How are you guys doing today?
Good, doing really good. Season finale, level on points, all or nothing. Let's see what happens.
Yes, indeed. It is the first time that two drivers go into the season
Man, how
finale.
many times have we done this show and you always don't let me talk? Every
So-
single time we do the intro. Every single time. I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say,
I'm sorry, Alex.
Sam was literally like, "It's lights off and away we go."
Yeah, without even just acknowledging that Alex is here. So I'm just gonna. Alex, how are you feeling today?
I was a lot better before I got rudely overtaken. No blue flags. Continue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just overtook you under the no blue flags for you. So yeah. So how's it going? You didn't really answer. You just
All right, so basically FP1 was today. Tomorrow we have qualifying. Sunday is the last race of the season. So I am looking forward to seeing either an 8-time world champion or a first-time world champion. But I'm also kind of sad because there won't be F1 for a couple months.
yeah. I agree with you as well. Like it's like what am I gonna do on Sunday mornings? Of course. I mean, like there's still football on for next couple weeks, but that's only on for next couple of months as well. But obviously F1 is something that I look forward to every weekend, like talking about as well as watching the race, especially the season that we've had going. All the drama off and on the track as well between Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, Red Bull, and Mercedes as well. So there's lots to dive in.
I don't have
as
any
well,
headphones here.
Oh, you don't have any headphones? That's tough.
That's tough.
That is tough. Alrighty, yeah, let's get right into it. Our Friday practice rundown. It was an interesting day in Friday in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton topped the charts in FP2, but Max Verstappen was looking equally as fast in practice one. But interesting enough as well, Alpine was up in the charts as well in the high, finishing, as you can see, practice two, whereas, finishing up in there, second fastest and sixth fastest. So, do you think Alpine has a good shot at, possibly spoiling the race on Sunday for Red Bull or Mercedes? Or
I mean, it'd be really weird for them to mess things up. I don't think they could anyway, but given the race pace that they've shown all year, it would be hard for them to do that. Obviously, if they get a good qualifying position tomorrow, then there is that potential, and they did look like the third fastest car in when they simulated qualifying, according to data gathered by F1 writers. But it wouldn't be really. I mean, if for whatever reason happens, one driver gets out of position, they're not. It would be really weird to see them get in the way, because they also have their own sort of battles to worry about with AlphaTauri when it comes to P5 in the constructors. So I doubt they would make too much of a mess of things.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like TJ said, they're not going to try and defend against Mercedes or Red Bull. They're going to get out of the way if they are finishing high in the. Well, obviously, we saw last race right at the finish line, Valtteri Bottas took over Esteban Ocon to get that P3 podium finish. Obviously, they would like to get on the podium, but there's a bigger thing at stake, which is the standings in the constructors. It's the last race of the season, and as we know, constructor standings at the end of the year, that determines how much money you're getting. So they're not going to risk their season basically to try and race one of the two fastest cars on the grid. So I don't think any team is going to get in the way of not only the Drivers' Championship, which is tied exactly the same amount of points, but the very close Constructors' Championship too.
No, for sure. I agree with both of you as well. And I think that honestly, based on what we've seen from the driving from both Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, I think Ocon and Alonso would want to get out of the way of any possible incident or, blocking of anything like that as well. As we saw even in Saudi Arabia at the race restart, how close Max and Lewis were as well, going wheel to wheel down to the first corner. And with the new track changes as well that we see at the Yas Marina circuit, I think we definitely are going to hopefully see some more exciting racing in qualifying and in the race as well with the bank turn. So yeah, and honestly, practice, it's hard to tell just looking at pure practice numbers of like who really has a good chance or who has a shot in qualifying, but it does give us some data as well And looking at the qualifying runs that Alpine was running, I think they have a good shot to finish high, just behind the Mercedes or Red Bull, and finishing above the McLarens possibly, 5th, 6th around there on Sunday. So it should be exciting for sure. All right, obviously the next thing we're going to talk about is obviously the battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton as they equal on points going in to Sunday's race. And I think the biggest thing that's on everyone's mind is, will we see a clean race, or what kind of tactics will we see on Sunday from either driver? Not any dirty tactics or anything like that, but just, going into Sunday's race.
It's going to be racing. There's going to be close calls. There's no question about it. Neither driver is going to back down. I wouldn't say it's going to be dirty racing, but it's definitely not going to be clean racing. If you thought what we saw last weekend was any indicator of anything that's going to happen in the last race of the season, well, it's probably going to happen again. There's probably going to be something similar. Obviously, we don't want 3 standing starts in the race, but in terms of the battle between Max and Lewis, between Red Bull and Mercedes, neither are going down without a fight. Just look forward to it. Also, there's not going to be any conspiracy. If people are new to F1, they should know by now, if you intentionally try and throw a race, or you intentionally try and crash out to get an advantage, which has happened in the past, they will find out and you will be disqualified. So that is not going to happen whatsoever. And no, AlphaTauri is not going to do one for the Red Bull boys and take out a Mercedes. That's also not going to happen, because Red Bull will also be disqualified from that. So just expect good racing.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the show, that and I saw on Twitter by a few people who mentioned this as well. They're sort of speculating or forecasting a repeat of what happened at Suzuka in 89 and 90 when Prost and Senna took each other out. I mean, that's not going to happen. That era is long gone. It's going to be, like Alex said, it might not be clean, but it's not going to be blatantly dirty.
Mick's not going to take out Lewis on the last lap. That's not going to happen.
I saw that on Reddit like a couple weeks ago or something like that. So
this isn't Cars, whichever Cars movie where the green dude just started hitting everybody and then gives up on the last lap. That's not going to happen either.
That's not happening.
Yeah, I know for sure. Yeah. So I think I saw like a Reddit post where it was like that accident where like Chick Hicks takes out Dynaco on like the last lap, and it was like Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen. I was like, I think that's reversed actually, because I think Max Verstappen is more like Chick Hicks and like the young hotshot driver, where Lewis Hamilton is the seasoned veteran as well. But I think it's just going to be hard racing, and I think that's what we all want this season. Is that we've seen too many times where there's been very close accidents, and both drivers have pushed the limits and finding the limit as well as how hard they can push on and off the track as well. We saw in Brazil, we saw even in Saudi Arabia as well, with the turn 4 incident between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton that was just not even investigated. So there's been multiple incidents throughout the season where both drivers have definitely pushed the limits of what is considered of the sporting code of like between the FIA and stuff like that.
So like on the last lap, this is what's going to happen. Lewis is going to be winning, and all of a sudden you're going to see an Aston Martin show up. So yeah, Sebastian Vettel is gonna win the race.
Wins the race.
He's gonna ruin it.
Yeah. I mean, regardless who really wins the race, is whoever finishes ahead, really just in terms of wins the championship. Even if it's like 5th or 6th.
Well,
or
I think it's
third
important
or fourth,
to note that if Hamilton has any DNF, Verstappen automatically wins the championship, unless there is a conspiracy penalty towards that DNF. But if his tire blows up, it's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So Mercedes has to take a little bit more of a strategic approach, specifically later on in the race, I think, because we saw Max hit a wall in qualifying last week. We've seen Max blow his tire up, leading a race he should have won. We've seen Lewis try and go to P1 off the restart in that same race and then blow it into the corner. you got to be careful.
Yeah, this is a track that it's historically been difficult to overtake. I mean, we won't know if the changes to the track are going to be fully effective until the checkered flag on Sunday. But I mean, the start is going to be super important here. I mean, even if there is even if there is going to be a lot of overtaking on Sunday, you still do want to get a good start, and qualifying really obviously helps with that. But I mean, it's going to be weird to see, not weird, but it's going to be interesting to see the tire strategies, but also reliability could come into play here. That Red Bull rear end has been looking pretty fragile, and there was this whole debate about rear wings, about Red Bull having rear wings that either work spectacularly or they don't work at all. So and Verstappen lost the rear in qualifying in Saudi Arabia, and that's what it eventually ended up costing him pole position. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what setups that the teams have gone for with the new changes in mind as well to the track.
Yeah, and I think as well in terms of the race strategy, I think you could possibly look at with a two-stop strategy is with the new layout of the track, it's a bit faster, so tire degradation might be a little bit higher if you're going to run in the mediums or the soft tires for the race on Sunday, which I mean, like most people will probably try to start on the mediums. They'll qualify in Q2 on the mediums, and then they'll go mediums to hards. And it's just really interesting because obviously you saw last weekend with Red Bull, it was a really interesting move how they didn't put Max Verstappen back on the hard tires on the second race restart and stuck him on mediums. And then he was on mediums for 35 laps. And I don't think they want to make that mistake again on Sunday in Abu Dhabi, because that could be crucial to the championship as well. Obviously in the last few laps, if, Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen's leading, but then Lewis Hamilton pulls off a Hungary type situation where he's able to retake the lead on just having fresher tires or just pure on pure pace as well. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to look towards as well for Sunday. So yeah,
it does seem like obviously with the new changes to the track that it does see, hopefully we'll see two-stop strategies.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, another close battle that is happening this season, not for the title, but for fifth position, obviously, between Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz. Current standings on the points: Charles has 154, Charles 158, Lando 154, and Carlos with 149.5. So going into Sunday, who do you think will secure fifth in the championship and ultimately get a potential extra bonus there for finishing higher in the standings between the three drivers?
I mean, right now the momentum is with Ferrari. McLaren have really struggled since their win at Monza, and they almost got the win in Russia if they weren't caught out by the weather. But since then, it's been all Ferrari when you look at strictly the battles between those two teams. I mean, right now, Leclerc is ahead by Norris by 4 points, who's ahead by Sainz by 5.5 or 4.5 points. So it's obviously going to be close, but I'm tipping Leclerc to win. He's been dragging. I mean, both Sainz and Leclerc have been dragging that Ferrari to places where it shouldn't have been in regular circumstances, but they've gotten away with it a few times. And Leclerc almost got the win at Silverstone if it wasn't for a fast charging Hamilton who would come from a penalty back from all the way back. It does seem like momentum is with Ferrari, and for McLaren in terms of drivers and constructors championship, it might already be too late.
Yeah, I'm also going to ride with the hot hand and go with Ferrari. Obviously, we saw McLaren doing a lot at the beginning of the season. They had that beautiful P1, P2 finish. Then, as TJ said, almost won in Russia. It's kind of been quiet since then. I'm actually kind of happy that Daniel Ricciardo's picked up his game a little bit. It looks like he's got a little bit more confidence. Whereas at the beginning of the season, it was pretty much the Lando Norris show for McLaren. However, Ferrari's been pushing it a lot lately. I'm going to go with Leclerc too. So I'm going to go with Leclerc getting fifth in that Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, I would agree with both of you as well. Honestly, in the first half of the season, we saw mostly Lando Norris really just carry that McLaren to keep a close battle with Ferrari between Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, because Daniel Ricciardo was struggling for form. He started to come into form as of late in the season, but I think it's too late in that even in the past few races, he hasn't been really there competing as much as with Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. So Ferrari has really gained, I think, like a 40-point gap or something like that. They're clear, 40 points cleared in the Constructors' Championship battle for third place right now. And they even for in the Drivers' Championship as well. It's still pretty close. Lando Norris is still, doing well. But I do think that Charles Leclerc is going to be really the best driver of the three, and is going to finish, fifth in the Drivers' Championship, as it stands right now, going for the end of the season. So, and yes, indeed, obviously with the last race of the season being this Sunday, we say goodbye to an absolute legend in F1, Kimi Räikkönen, also known as the Iceman. He's been in Formula One for 20 plus seasons, racing for multiple different teams, 2 stints at Ferraris, 1 short stint at Lotus F1 as well. So yeah, it's going to be sad to see him go, but I think also, I think it's time. He's ready to retire for sure. So
we're not gonna we're not gonna see him again. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have my drink? No, Kimmy, you're not gonna have the drink. Okay, I have the drink. No, Kimmy. Gloves.
Yeah. Steering wheel.
Gloves. Give me gloves. Steering wheel.
Wait, tell him I need my gloves.
Yeah.
Steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. He's absolutely
better. Nothing will ever be better in F1 than when Kimi Räikkönen was drunk at the Drivers' Awards.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the clapping, and he's like pointing as well. He's clapping and then the pointing as well. So it's just
I love the Alfa Romeo car is saying, okay, Kimi, we'll leave you alone on the
Yeah. And I think also Antonio Giovinazzi had a message special, to thank Kimi as well for being a great mentor for him as well. Like imagine being able to race and have Kimi Räikkönen, a legend, like as your teammate, to learn so much from him.
He's Italian too.
He's Italian.
Definitely growing up, he was definitely seeing Kimi Räikkönen driving for Ferrari. So
and win the world championship with Ferrari.
Yes, indeed, 2007. His
not a lot of people can do.
No, it's tough to do. So I think that also really just cements him as still like one of the greatest drivers. The fact that he won 2007 in a close battle with, I believe, Fernando Alonso as well as Lewis Hamilton, who almost won in his rookie season, was so close but was beat by the Iceman.
Greatest Finnish driver of all time.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah.
Mika Häkkinen, if you guys were thinking, I'm trying to say.
Mika Häkkinen, for sure.
Yeah, obviously, that's But no, it's definitely Formula One's definitely going to be not as great now that Kimi's gone. But he's done so much for Formula One on track and off track, obviously. And he'll be missed for sure.
Yeah, there's many moments that even off track happen that Kimi Räikkönen is a part of it that are just legendary. Leaving the race and going to sit on his yacht after crashing out. So not even going back to the garage, just okay, let's talk about the crash. Like what happens? Like, no, I'm going to my yacht. I've got my drink. I've got my swimsuit on. He's ready to go. So yes, indeed.
Have you guys seen that? I don't know I think it was a UPS commercial with Ferrari where he sends
when he sends it, the thing to Seb. Yeah, that was great. That was so great.
Yeah, I honestly need more F1 commercials. We don't get enough F1 commercials in Canada. Like more F1.
YouTube. They're all over YouTube. That's where I saw that first.
Merry Christmas video with Ferrari where it's Seb, Kimi, and a couple other Ferrari guys just singing Merry Christmas, and Kimi just ringing the bell or something.
Yeah, YouTube's got a lot of it as well. Like, I think there's probably going to be the Secret Santa video that they've got coming out as well. They've done that in the past, so we'll probably stay tuned for that as well. But it's truly will be missed for sure. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about now. If you were to predict this race weekend in 3 words, what would those 3 words be, gentlemen? Start with you, TJ.
3-word race prediction. Track changes work. I mean, Abu Dhabi's always gotten faced
backlash.
Backlash for being more or less Monaco, but in the Middle East. I mean, and I'm purposely not saying who I want to win the championship. But no, it's Abu Dhabi's like, this was a Tilke track, and yes, Tilke's had some hits and misses, but this was one that people want to see work because there are things that can be done, and the owners of the track do have a lot of money, so why not make changes to the track? And if they finally made changes to the track, which is great to see. I mean, like I said earlier in the show, we'll only know if those changes work after the race on Sunday, but I mean, at least I genuinely hope that the changes do work. And from what we've seen so far with the videos of other cars racing around the circuit, as well as the driver's eye of Charles Leclerc that in practice today, the changes do make things more exciting. Whether or not that leads to better racing, I hope it does, and I think it genuinely will. But that's the main takeaway from this new iteration of the track I want to see. Also, apart from who wins the title,
for sure, yeah,
absolute chaos.
Okay, I think we know what that second word is, but due to certain reasons, we can't. We had to.
I don't know what happened. I thought I said.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Your mic was cutting out again.
I don't think it's working. But yeah, this is gonna be crazy on the track after the race. Twitter's gonna suck. TikTok's gonna really suck.
Yeah.
F1 community is really, really gonna suck. This is gonna be very fun and absolutely chaos.
Yeah, I think
mic's cutting out again.
Oh,
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I think honestly it's gonna go. I mean, like it's gonna go either two ways, and I think Twitter will react either in positive ways and negative ways in both reactions, because there's fans on both sides of the spectrum between Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton fans, Red Bull, Mercedes fans, and depending on how the last race goes. But I mean, like either way, honestly, I will just say this: even as a Max fan, if Lewis wins the race cleanly, no, nothing else, I'd be happy because he makes history. He wins his 8th World Drivers' title to surpass Michael Schumacher for that final record. And in terms of just pure numbers, when you look at the number side of things, he is the greatest, the most recognized or celebrated driver as well for Formula One in terms of just pure awards and records as well. But in terms of my 3-word race prediction, I think it's going to be Max winning his first. I think he will win on Sunday. He's not going to succeed to the pressure. He's going to put in a great qualifying session, and he's going to put in a great race on Sunday. And that's it goes in my race predictions, but that's my 3-word race prediction.
I'm not going to give a race prediction because I heard Sam jinx Verstappen in qualifying.
Oh my God. So I felt so bad. I felt so bad.
Look, I'm not going to jinx Giovinazzi on his first podium.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. It was so bad. I felt so bad because it was like the last corner. I was like, oh, he's up a tenth. He's up 2 tenths. He's going for pole. And then he just into the wall. And it's like.
I saw a video first of all, when Max was flying, I'm like, he's flat outing these corners. What if he just hits the wall? But I didn't say it out loud. I'm just thinking, I'm like, he's definitely going to fuck up. And then he fucked up, right? But I saw this thing on TikTok or Instagram today. This guy's wearing a Red Bull shirt. It's Max. He's just absolutely purpling every sector. He turns, smiles at whoever's recording, goes like this, turns back around.
Yeah. Max
misses the turn and then hits the wall. I'm like, this is definitely what Sam did. 100%. Sam was laughing. Sam's like, watch. This is what's gonna happen. He's got it. It's over. Championship's over. Boom, in the wall.
That's the exact thing that happened to me. It was me and Ming were just like talking, and I was like, yeah, man, like he's got pole. Like he's gonna take pole. And then literally 15 seconds later, he's just like, yep, like he locked up on the one tire, on his like right tire front, like locked up in the corner, and just went in, like tapped the wall. And I was like, no, I've done it. I've jinxed it.
From what I saw in that crash, he did a really good job of not completely totaling that car. Because when I watched the slow motion replay, the angle he was going into the wall, he should have full on smashed the front wing, I think, and destroyed that car. But it looks like he was able to spin the wheel enough to get the car on a different angle so he didn't completely smash into that wall, which would have been dangerous too.
Yeah, I know for sure. He made a swift last second move, which saved definitely his chance as well. But what's interesting as well is that I know we talked about reliability earlier. Is that Max Verstappen's gearbox could have been damaged that weekend, which would have dealt in like a different race on Sunday. And I think because obviously they don't want to replace the gearbox again because he would take the grid penalty this weekend, it's going to be interesting how much wear and tear is on that gearbox. The fact that he's had that kind of slight crash, he used it all throughout Sunday. He's going to use it in qualifying and then the race on Sunday just to see, what the reliability really of that car is in terms of his chances. So,
yeah, I mean, obviously, reliability has also been a big talking point throughout the season as well, not just with car parts, but with tires as well. We saw what happened in Baku. I mean, it'll be weird to see what the strategy is like, but
yeah.
But the thing with the race last week was that it was a new track and they just finished it before, so there was very little grip to be offered anyway. Obviously now Abu Dhabi's more of a it's been used quite a lot over the years, so there's already a lot of rubber laid down. So I don't think we'll see any like major tire issues, but there still could be the odd puncture here or there. But I remember reading somewhere on social media, I think it was on online, so I can't remember where I read it, but some people were saying that the curbs in Abu Dhabi, because of the rebuild or the update, that the curves were just as aggressive as they were in Saudi Arabia last week. So maybe that could lead to some tire issues, and then you might hear some radio messages saying stay off the curb. So
yeah, we did see that in Saudi Arabia as well, to stay off the curbs, and we've seen that in other tracks as well, with Bahrain as well, to stay off the curbs to protect the tires or to protect the body of the car as well. But what's interesting is during FP1 or FP2, Valtteri Bottas actually he kissed the wall at turn 14, losing a little bit of the rear end there. So again, the traction for the cars again. I mean, we've seen the F2 cars are going to be all over it because it's their last weekend as well, as Oscar Piastri tries to win his first F2 championship as a rookie as well, which is going to be a super impressive feat to see as well. So I don't think really, like, in terms of the track it's going to have a lot of rubber run on, like a lot of track on it, a lot of cars run on it. So I think it's going to be well run down. I don't think it's going to be really much of an issue for sure. So ready. Any final words, gentlemen, before we wrap up today's pre-race show before the race on Sunday? And also tune in tomorrow morning. Be doing a qualifying watch along at 8 a.m. bright and early. So if you want to come join us for the final qualifying, I won't say anything about Verstappen if he's on a final out lap, because I don't want to jinx anything.
If you jinx Alfa Romeo, I'm getting all of Switzerland to sing the national anthem in your face on repeat in all of the languages that it's recited in until Alfa Romeo win a race.
I just won't say anything. I'm just going to be on the last final lap. Any lap between Kimi Räikkönen or Antonio Giovinazzi, I won't say anything. Good. I wish them all the best luck. So,
when they both get to Q3, you're going to be the one smiling.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I can jinx Lewis Hamilton into no, I'm just I wouldn't want anything on that, because obviously I want the best for Lewis Hamilton to have a fair and equal fight. So I wouldn't want to jinx anything on Lewis Hamilton or on Max Verstappen. So.
Lewis Hamilton to you.
Yeah, Sir Lewis Hamilton, as he's been knighted. So Sir Lewis Hamilton. So he's been officially knighted as well. So but thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
His last words.
What? Oh yeah, sorry, TJ.
Come on.
Hey,
I'm so sorry.
You guys were gonna beat whatever I said anyway. I got
come on. Let's get your final thoughts in. Are you sure?
I mean, all I can hope for is that Ferrari beats McLaren in the title, because that's obviously what I'm hoping for. But I'm looking forward to a good race.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be exciting for sure. Last race of the season. Goodbye to, and as well, George Russell's last race for Williams before he heads to.
I don't care about that.
Okay, come on, George Russell.
Yeah, hey, he's going to the big team next year. Why not?
Who cares? He's going to Mercedes.
I know. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So it's. I mean, who knows? He could. It's going to be interesting as well. Could we see a Rosberg versus Hamilton? 2.0. I don't think so. But it's not going to be.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Anyways, now that everyone's got their last words in, we can now wrap up the show. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out theintermissionsports.com for more content. I'll be trying to get as much motorsport content over the next few months, obviously, because it's doing dry. So, anyways, have a nice weekend.